So here we have a worksheet on the theme unit for community. And this worksheet is specific to where we live here in the town of Duncan, which is on the Cowichan Valley of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. And this worksheet is really just a read and fill in the blank, and we've got dotted letters to help out there. And it's about the history of Duncan. So let's get started with reading it and filling in the blank spots. Don't forget your name. It says the City of Duncan. So we'll just go over the dotted letters. The City of Duncan has a population of just under 5,000. The actual city, the town, is quite small, but it has other towns surrounding it, including North Cowichan, which is kind of attached to Duncan, and most people think of the North Cowichan as being a part of Duncan. But population-wise, the City of Duncan has a population of just under 5,000. It serves the Cowichan Valley, which has a population of 80,000 people. So when we include Mill Bay and Shawnigan Lake and Maple Bay and Cowichan Bay and Cobble Hill and Ladysmith and Crofton and Chemainus and North Cowichan, as well as Duncan, then we add up to about 80,000 people. Next paragraph says, the name Cowichan is an English form of the Hulkaminam word Cowichan, which means the warm land. So we're going to fill that part in, the warm land. We hear that term around the town all the time, warm land. So Cowichan or Cowichan means the warm land. In the summer it can be quite warm in this valley. The community is named after William Chalmers Duncan. So our town is actually named after a person. His first name was William. Second name was Chalmers, and his last name was Duncan. So the town of Duncan is named after Mr. Duncan. He arrived in Victoria in May of 1862. Wow, that's 160 years ago. Then in August of that year, he was one of the party of 100 settlers which Governor Douglas took to Cowichan Bay. After going off on several gold rushes, Mr. Duncan settled close to the present city of Duncan. He married in 1876, and his son Kenneth, and here we have the name Kenneth. You recognize Kenneth Street in Duncan? Well, now you know who it's named after. He married in 1876, and his son Kenneth became the first mayor of Duncan. There is a Kenneth Street as well as a Duncan Street in the city. We have an old-fashioned picture here of the railway station where the train used to operate. Mr. Duncan's farm was named Alderlea. Sometimes we hear that name around here, Alderlea. Like that. Duncan's farm was named Alderlea, and this was the first name of the settlement. The name Duncan became the official name of the city in 1912. Here's a picture of downtown Duncan in 1914. In the early 1900s, Duncan's Chinese people had their own Chinatown. Chinatown was concentrated in a single block in the town of Duncan. The city tore the buildings down in 1969 to build the law court buildings. So downtown we have some sort of round 4-story or so building. That's the law court, and that's where the old Chinatown used to be. Duncan's tourism slogan is the City of Totems. So the City of Totem Poles, or totems. The city has 80 totem poles around the entire town. That's a lot of totem poles. Duncan has a large First Nations community and is the traditional home of the Cowichan Tribes, who are the largest band among the Coast Salish people. The Coast Salish men and women of the Cowichan Tribes are makers of the world-famous Cowichan sweater. And here's an image of a Cowichan sweater. So we'll fill in the word sweater. Farming was the first type of work in the new settlement. Put the word farming here. Early days, farming was what was happening around here. Then it was followed by logging, so cutting down trees to make lumber. Right in the word logging. Copper mining on Mount Sicker also helped to grow the town. So there was some copper mining just down the road on Mount Sicker. There's an old picture of Station Street when the roads were still dirt and people got around in horse and carriage. Known for this today, but Duncan has the world's largest ice hockey stick. Ice hockey. Duncan has the world's largest ice hockey stick, officially recognized by the Guinness World Records on July 14th of 2008, which is on display on the side of the local arena. The stick was made for Expo 1986 in Vancouver and purchased by the town of Duncan. Several NHL players come from the Cowichan area. Greg Adams, Doug Bodger, Russ Courtnall, Robin Bawa, Jeff Courtnall, and Matt Ellison are all former NHL players. They don't play anymore today. Brief history of our town of Duncan.